All right, so let us begin with version 20 membership buttons. Now, if you're following along in our workbooks, this is going to be in Membership 101 on just pages 31 and 32. We're really not going to be going into a lot of the changes in membership. We're just talking about the buttons today. So this should be short and sweet, and we'll get you back to the rest of your workday. All right, so let's go on in here, and you can see already in membership it's going to look a bit different. These quick access buttons in the middle have changed, and up here at the top we have a toolbar that's going to look a lot like donations and accounting. And instead of having separate member and visitor files, we now have just one people file where you can see all of your separate categories together. So let's go ahead and open that up. All right, and here we are at the new membership people screen. So it's going to look fairly similar to the old version with just a bit of a facelift. Now I'm going to go ahead and maximize this so we get our full view here. All right, and today what we're just going to be covering, or let me get my handy dandy little highlighter out here. We're just going to be talking about these buttons here. All right, so what we have here are the same buttons really as what we used to have. We have prior and next buttons to navigate between different families. We have our find button and our grid button. Once you've done a find, that grid button will become highlighted so that you can jump to the grid. This categories drop down is going to let you choose whether you're viewing both members and visitors or only visitors, as well as any additional categories you might choose to add. Next, you have a person lookup, and this allows you to either scroll through the list of all your people or type in a name to search for someone instead of having to do a find like we used to do. And then finally in this top toolbar you have save and cancel. Now it is going to save your work for you as you go, so the save isn't really necessary because it will save for you once you navigate away. However, it is there in case you want to save your changes manually as you go. That's totally fine. And then cancel will discard any changes that you've made. All right, so then below that we have a few more buttons, and these are the ones that are definitely going to be the same as the previous buttons, but they have new icons. So now instead of just having one add and one delete button, we have separate buttons for adding families and deleting families versus adding individuals and deleting individuals. And then next to that, we have our little print button. And this is going to allow you to print a report or labels for the family if you choose on this side, or for the individual if you choose on this side. And here for the individual, you also have the option to send an email to just that individual, as well as printing a report of all their individual information or a label for just that person. Next to that, we have our little pin drop icon, which allows us, let me clear out my highlighter here. This allows us to use the internet to get directions or maps to any of the addresses in our software. Now on this from side, you can see in brackets here it says no organization address, and what that means is that my demo data doesn't have an address, but if I had entered my church's address, it would show up here on the from side. Since I don't have that in my demo data, I could enter any address I wanted here as my starting address if I am going to get directions. So you add a starting address on the left side, the from side, or you can pick your church's address if that's stored in the software. And then on the right side, you have your destination address, which is grabbing the family address because I clicked the button on the family side. So I'm just going to show a map, and what will happen is I'm going to click the Get Map button, and it's going to take me out to the internet to Google Maps. From here, it works just like Google Maps always does. So we're now outside of the Church Windows program on the internet, and it's grabbing the address from the family I clicked on. So I'll close out of there. And just to show you, if I did for the individual, it's the exact same screen. It's grabbing the exact same address, unless the individual has their own alternate address, in which case it would grab that address instead. Okay, and then the final button that we have on both sides is our Copy Address button. And this, again, similar to the Map button, is going to grab either the family address or the individual address. And when you click it, it kind of looks like nothing is happening. That's totally okay. It's not supposed to do anything in Church Windows. It's simply copying the address so that you can go to another software. I'm just opening up Notepad, for example, but you could go into your email program or anywhere you wanted, and you can see when I click Paste, there we have the copied address for Miss Nina. And I'll close out of there, don't need to save that. But that's what happens when we click the Copy button. We then are able to paste the address into any other software that we want to. Finally, we have Transfer Individuals. And if I click that, this is going to allow me to move Nina into a different existing family in the software. Just like we used to, except it looks different now. I just picked a random name off the list. So if we wanted to transfer her into there, we would click OK. And we have this checkbox down in the bottom left corner where we can delete the empty family after we transfer, which we would definitely want to do because we don't want to clog up our database with empty families, with no individuals. And if I come to a family where we have multiple individuals, you can see what I could do here as well is I could just move one of these individuals into their own new family. And I would pick a category, enter all of this information, and click OK. And then that would remove Miss Jen Arnold from her family and put her into a new family. And that actually might be, looking at these ages of these people, maybe we would want to put Richard Arnold in his own family since he is showing as 18. And that will be covered probably in more detail in a future webinar. Today we're really just talking about these buttons, which we have already completed doing. Like I said, today our topic is very, very brief. So if you have questions, go ahead and type them into the questions panel. One thing I'll go back and show is if we click on our print button and pull up reports, for example, you'll see we don't have that beginning step 1 page of the reports. And that's because we've already selected our search criteria, which is simply this family. And from here, we can print only 4 of the specific types of report. We can only print basic, all information, custom, or mail merge, and that's because it wouldn't make sense to do a directory for just one person or one family. And all the options here you have are exactly the same as they currently are. So really nothing new to see in here. And same with labels. If we were to click that instead, we have the same thing. No step 1, just step 2, where we pick our label layout. And then for the individual, email is going to look exactly the same. You pick your email setting, add your new message, and then you can send that email. Rhonda's asking how far back we can cancel. Well, we can only cancel whatever has been entered since the last time we hit save or since we entered that record. So it only lets you cancel out what you've just immediately done, and that's why it's grayed out if I haven't made any changes. Any other questions? Looks like this topic only took us about 10 minutes, so that makes it nice and easy for us. Cheryl's asking if when we're moving or adding a person to an existing family, how do you find that existing family? All you have to do in here is, if we choose existing family, you can either type to search. So I'm just going to type Bob. Oh, guess that doesn't work. Let's see. Here we have Morgan Smoot. So you can type or you can scroll, and this list is going to be alphabetized by the family last name, but it's showing the mailing label. So that's why it says Mr. and Mrs. or just first and last names. Rhonda's asking about email. Email has to be set up specifically in order to function. If you have questions about how to set up your email, you can check out some of the other webinars that we've done in the past. Even the ones on version 19, actually all the way back to version 17, will still be valid for how to set up your email settings. And if you're still having trouble, give us a call and we can walk you through that process. Susan, yes, this existing family dropdown should work by first name if the first name is in the mailing label. Okay, since we have this drop down for showing the family mailing label as opposed to first and last names, this is going to need us to search by whatever is in the mailing label. So if your mailing labels just use Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you want to search by last names only. But if you have, like in the case of this data, we have first names on quite a few of these mailing labels. So it all depends on your mailing labels, Susan. Any other questions? Well, if there are no more questions, I'll stick around for a few more minutes just in case, but you're welcome to go ahead and sign out. Thank you again for sticking with us today and checking out this, the new buttons that we have in version 20 coming as soon as possible. And go ahead and check out our other webinars on version 20 if you are getting excited about that. We have several that have been already uploaded to the website in our free recorded webinars. So thanks again. Any final questions? Get them typed in there. Okay, I'm going to close the webinar. Thanks again, and we hope to see you at the next one. Have a good rest of your day.